Okay, so let's talk about the third and last presidential debate tonight. We know what the numbers look like going in. They're not good for Donald Trump. They're just not good. There's no way around it. You hear every once in a while Drudge Report posts that if you look at the Rasmussen poll between 5:05 and 5:10 p.m. Eastern time, it looked like maybe Trump was within the margin of error, right? I mean, you have to have these incredible silver lining sort of optimistic ways of reading polls to think Trump is doing anything anywhere. But we have a debate tonight, and Donald Trump could conceivably do something. Now, there's sort of a few major media issues going in, and Hillary Clinton needs to strategize around how to address these. There are, it's now an endless list, effectively, of Donald Trump sexual assault accusers. Trump's excuses have been laughable, right? There was one accuser. It's hard to even keep track of it. One accuser, Trump said, "Oh, I have no idea who that is. I've never met that person." Well, it turns out 5 months ago, he remembered in vivid detail not only the conversation he had with her, but meeting her parents, etc. For the guy who doesn't really forget, very strange defense. With the journalist, Natasha Stoynoff, Trump initially said, "Look at her if you need to think about or figure out why it's unlikely that I would sexually assault her." Now, most people who don't sexually assault women that I know, if you say, "Did you sexually assault that woman?" they don't say, "No, I didn't, and her unattractiveness is proof of that." They would say, "No, I don't sexually assault women." So it was sort of a weird path to go down with Donald Trump. And we have this long list, right? 17 of these women at this point. This will likely come up in the debate tonight. So the question for Hillary Clinton is how to handle that, how to address that. I believe that Hillary Clinton should not address it in any way. She should. We see these sort of non-questions in the debates where Trump is asked to comment on the accusers, and then Hillary Clinton is asked to comment about people accusing Donald Trump of sexual assault. It's not really a question to Hillary Clinton, right? It's just sort of comment about allegations against your opponent. Tonight, people have heard about the allegations. I don't know that there's anything to gain for Hillary Clinton in continuing to talk about it. If she is given the opportunity to comment about the sexual assault accusers, she should say, "I'm here to talk about important political issues facing Americans. The allegations against my opponent should be evaluated by voters, as I'm sure they already have. The voters will determine whether these allegations are something that impact who they want to vote for. As far as I'm concerned, I'm here to talk about issues facing the American people." Now, that might strike you as a completely disingenuous response. We all know Hillary Clinton, no doubt, has many thoughts about these accusers. But from a strategic point of view, I think that would be a much better approach, especially under 3 weeks out from this election. Now, there's this other angle, which is the rigged election stuff that Donald Trump has been talking about. And he's been going at this pretty hard, saying, if I lose on November 8th, we'll be able to attribute it to a rigged election. And he sort of throws anything he can think of into this rigged election story. He'll talk about the emails, which no doubt showed that the Democratic National Committee did have its hand or finger or entire body on the scale in favor of Hillary Clinton against Bernie Sanders. But that doesn't mean that the 50 individually regulated, 50 plus 1 individually regulated state elections on November 8th are rigged. And in fact, this is an area that I think Hillary Clinton could really go after Trump on, because she can say, even your own Republican cohorts, Republican governors are saying, wait a second, I don't support Hillary Clinton as a Republican governor, but if Hillary Clinton wins in this state, it is not going to be because the election was rigged. We are carrying out a fair election here. And then the other question I'll have watching tonight's debate is, will there be a discussion about poverty, which has been essentially missing from the first two debates and the vice presidential debate? Are we going to hear about climate change? Later on in the show, I'll tell you, it sounds like the movie Groundhog Day, yet again, last month, the hottest month on record for as long as we've been tracking that data. And we've seen 2 minutes in these first two debates about climate change. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, they're in a race to be effectively leader of the free world, and they've spent under 2 minutes on the topic of climate change in two 90-plus minute debates. It's absolutely embarrassing. The debate organizers should be embarrassed. The candidates should certainly be embarrassed. Melania is hugely embarrassed, but not about this, right? She's embarrassed, but about other things. It'd be great if she paid attention to what was going on with climate change. So the topics that come up tonight will be interesting. And lastly, Chris Wallace from Fox News is moderating tonight. And this is the first time a Fox News host has moderated one of the major presidential debates. They've done the Republican debates. They've even done Democratic debates. Those are organized between the parties and the networks. This is actually organized by the Commission on Presidential Debates. So it'll be interesting to see what dynamic he brings. I know that there are people already saying, and I'm getting emails, hey, Fox News host running a debate. Obviously, it's going to be super friendly to Donald Trump. I actually don't think so. I think that Chris Wallace I would expect Chris Wallace to press Hillary Clinton, but I am convinced that he is absolutely going to press Donald Trump. And Chris Wallace has never struck me as the type of guy that would be titillated by the prospect of a Donald Trump presidency. So that's what I'll be watching for tonight. And tomorrow we are going to have analysis. We will have clips and highlights and so much more. Send me your thoughts. What are you watching for in tonight's debate? I've talked about how people of all ages, but particularly millennials, are owning cars less and participating more in the sharing economy. And one of the more popular options is Zipcar, which gets you a car when you want it, when you need it. They offer all sorts of cars, SUVs, hybrids, whatever you need. It includes insurance and it includes gas. You just pay for the time that you actually use the car. And you can reserve the car online from your smartphone over the phone. Then you unlock it with your Zip card. Each car share member reduces their personal CO2 emissions by between 1,100 and 1,600 pounds per year. For our audience, Zipcar is offering $25 of free driving credit if you sign up at joinzipcar.com/David. Support our show, reduce your carbon emissions and your spending on cars. Sign up at joinzipcar.com/David.